Promise me, son, not to do the things I've done. Walk away from trouble if you can. It won't mean you're weak if you turn the other cheek. I hope you're old enough to understand. Son, you don't have to fight to be a man. Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Red Dead Redemption 2, the game where you don't have to fight, but actually you kind of have to fight a lot. I'm Serious JG. I'm not going to sing Coward of the County its entirety, because there's kind of messed up stuff that happens over the course of what's otherwise a pretty nice song, but what I am going to do in this video is travel to one of the places where I know we can encounter a gang member from the old days, just to see whether or not we have to finish all the story missions before they'll show up. But I believe, based on an article I'm looking at right now, you can visit a lot of grave markers. I'm finding like YouTube videos that show you how to do that, which I don't feel like watching a YouTube video. I don't know why you're watching one now. Shut this video off. No, but like I got an article. There's not that many characters who are alive that you can go visiting, but let me see. I think one of them is in Valentine. Yeah, so there's a character who's at the train station in Valentine. Which is essentially, the post office is usually the train station. So we'll go here, and if this character shows up, then cool. We can spend a video or two traveling around and visiting all the characters that we can visit. And if not, then I guess we can't. I probably should like look up what John Marcin looked like in Red Dead Redemption 1 and cut his hair appropriately, but I'm enjoying John Marcin going through one of the ways he's dealing with the death of Arthur is by being a Wookiee for a while.
Hey, partner! What is this? Hey there, miss.
How do you do?
You're putting in a shift there.
It's why I came here after all.
Oh wow, that's like the dialogue all matched up.
Gentlemen?
Mister?
Hi there, sir. Partner?
Howdy there, friend.
Howdy. Hello? Miss?
Sir.
Getting a lot of free honor here.
Mister? Hi, fellas. Howdy. Hello, mister. How do you do?
Yeah, I'm a reasonably honorable guy at this point. And I got my horse up here on a path that people are trying to use, so less honorable, I suppose.
Howdy, mister.
Howdy.
Hey, fella.
Hello.
Howdy, mister.
Mister?
Hi there, mister.
Okay there.
Get on. Hello?
Howdy.
Sir!
Sir, yes, sir. It's like a local pawn shop, it sounds like, from the ads that sells computers to it's not really a local ad because I moved, but when I lived in the Newport News area, a whole lot of military down there, and they would have these commercials like Patriot Computers, sir, yes, sir, like selling computers to soldiers. I don't even remember they had special deals for soldiers for it. It was just a marketing campaign targeted at them, but they were like, do you need a new computer? Sir, yes, sir. Would you like free virus protection? Sir, yes, sir. It's a very weird ad, I always thought. They're not as weird as Crazy Al's Tire House and Rims. Was it even Crazy Al, Crazy Eddie? No, Crazy Eddie was the guy who, like, I learned about in grad school in, like, my fraud accounting classes. Because they had the ads that ran in New York and New Jersey in the 70s, and it turns out that there's a huge cash skimming scheme where they weren't reporting their income to the federal government from state governments for taxes.
Oh! Partner!
I just wanted to go, oh! Could be doing so much hunting with my son right now, but nah. Quite an involved little path we're following. There's a whole stretch of
Keep your distance. Got a criminal here.
Hey, fellas.
Help!
Who's that you got?
Didn't we warn you, pal? Move along.
go. What the hell?
Son of a bitch.
There's a little bit of my honor gone.
Let's go, girl.
I guess I gotta get hunt. I was gonna rob the guy, but I guess I gotta get him off the horse.
Whoa!
Did he die?
Please don't leave me on here. Come on. Don't do all that killing, then just leave me on here.
No, I won't.
Hey, why don't you put me down, friend?
Well, I could put him down, or I could put him on my horse.
Come on, man. Cut the ropes off. Oh, boy. I sure owe you one. If I'm gonna be hanged, at least let it be for a crime I committed. I'll let you in on a little secret. That doctor in Valentine is running a shady rap. Oh, sweet Jesus, don't kill
You're a good fella.
Oh, you shot my horse, you jerks.
Okay, then. No.
Okay, this actually totally isn't worth it, because he was giving me a tip about something that I think I already knew, and I didn't get a chance to really record it because the actual info got interrupted by
Good girl now.
the guy attacking. I don't know that I lost any honor, but I'm just annoyed that I didn't get a chance to. This is going to cost me money, but I'm annoyed I didn't get a chance to actually see what that guy had to say. Because I was thinking, well, I can turn him in myself for a bounty, but then I'm like, well, I'm not even sure that would have worked. I thought yeah, that seemed like the place I needed to go. Oh, but it's closed. Oh well, I won't actually have a bounty in Valentine anyway, so let me just continue with my journey. Maybe I'll go on a journey. Anyway, turn the other cheek, but apparently when nobody's actually threatened you at all, attack.
How you doing, friend?
Why are you pointing guns at me? Because I didn't realize after I greeted him I was pointing guns at him based on the control scheme, but the guy didn't care, so it's all good. He's like, hey man, I'm also a Second Amendment enthusiast. The Big Valley. It's a TV show.
Buddy!
I may or may not need to regain some honor after all that went down. Yeah, I can afford to waste $20 for no good reason. It's kind of difficult to do. Like it's not. There's not that many easy ways to make a lot of money without losing honor that I'm aware of. But certainly, like I think if we continue with the story, eventually we I believe we will eventually get the money that used to belong to Arthur. And that's all for free roam mode at the end, and which I don't care about anyway. I mean, how often is money becoming a thing in this game? How often am I actually buying stuff after I fully upgraded the camp at the beginning of the game? Which doesn't matter now anyway. I mean, I'm not complaining about that as a mechanic. I'm just saying I'm not really all that bothered about it. Although having $300 instead of over $1,000, it is a little bit more painful to suddenly lose $20. It's a significantly bigger portion. I probably don't have as many guns. I guess you just kind of stumble through and retry from checkpoint until you win these missions either way, so it doesn't matter that much. But yeah, I probably had a much better arsenal as Arthur than I have right now.
Oh, partner.
Well, if I follow the train tracks, I should, never mind. I'm going to immediately ignore my own advice. I'm going to follow the train tracks because the place I'm trying to go to is a train station.
Whoa, whoa.
So that's exactly the kind of guy where I would have robbed his cart before to, What am I hitching my horse to? It said hitch horse, but, oh.
Help a fella out.
Who's looking for help?
Excuse me. Excuse
Oh.
me, but I need some money. I fought in the war. I fought for you.
Oh, this guy. I don't think we've encountered him as Arthur.
Hey, brother. Hey there, mister. Hey there.
I'm trying
Mind
to...
if I join you? Mind if I talk to you? Fellas sometimes mind.
I'm trying to interact with him. It's all grayed out.
No way of knowing.
I don't mind.
Oh, good guy.
I like you. You're kind. I like kindness.
Yeah, I'm on the wide end of the meter.
Kind.
Now, that ain't true. Ain't true.
We'll just
at
ask
all.
Irish about this later.
Most folk won't spare me the time of day.
Well, I mean, I would if I could read an analog clock.
And it was
Until they invent
real
digital
nice.
clock faces, I'm not going to be able to help you.
Can I hold you, mister?
Whoa. I got a woman.
It can't be held.
Ah, I'm sorry, mister. I didn't mean nothing by it. I just kind
Oh,
of
hug him, goddammit.
But most folk don't like me.
No harm done.
Ain't ever harmful to be held, mister. Only most folk find me creepy and strange, which ain't nice.
I guess not.
Give him a hug. Hug him.
What's your name?
John. Or, Jim.
Jimmy John's. I run a sandwich
That's funny.
chain.
Used to know a fella a bit like you. A few years back.
A fellow
Crazy
Wookiee.
kind of fella. But he had a heart on him.
What was his name?
I forget. Funny face. Alan. Or something, I think. He didn't like me much neither. But he was okay.
Well, he's talking about Arthur, although I don't know how we were supposed to figure this.
Died.
They always do. The good ones.
He weren't a good one. He was, well, he was good and bad, and it's hard to say quite
Complicated.
what he was in the end.
That's so.
Sure. That's so.
I'm
I can kinda
transfixed.
see that. Well, it's been fun talking, mister.
About Alan or whoever.
Mickey.
So that is a strange sort of callback, I gotta say. And we could definitely use a little canned salmon. And I believe there's supposed to be...
A bunch of money last month. Then I got drunk and went whoring, and finally I woke up penniless.
Yep. No, we gotta get used to that. Mister.
All right,
Hey
stranger.
there.
Okay, so this is the place where I thought we were going to encounter somebody, because it's not Mickey that I was coming looking for. Certainly possible to miss somebody in here, so there's another place where I really probably can't miss them if they're the person.
Oh, hello.
Hello, miss.
Tur?
Open your eyes.
Excuse me, will you? All right. Mister?
Who in the Sam Hill are you?
I'm Sam Hill. Good to meet you.
Excuse me.
Hey there.
Hi. Hello.
Hello, darling. This is Louis, darling.
Sir!
Hello there.
Over here, fella. Greetings, amigo.
Well, the person I thought we were going to meet isn't... Oh, never mind. There she is.
Mary Beth.
John? John!
It's Jim now.
How the hell are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I don't have a shirt yet. I'm kind of wearing this undershirt.
Abigail, is she?
She's well. Jack's growing up.
Sweet boy.
Not anymore.
We're real pain in my ass now.
How are you?
I'm well. I write now. Silly romances, but it's fun. Oh,
A lot of
it's such
Fabio
fun.
stuff.
Do you?
My pen name is Leslie Dupont. It's sort of French, sort of ambiguous. Well, the books are unambiguously awful, but they sell.
Good for you. So proud.
I feel like
Still
I'm personally
think about
responsible,
you.
even though I never did that quest where I gave
That
you a
was-
pen.
That was quite a time.
Did I do that? I don't remember if I gave him a pen or not.
Arthur. Arthur saved my life before he passed. I don't talk about him much.
Although I just got done talking about him. It's kind of all I talk about, actually.
Me too.
Oh, never mind. I didn't do a quest to give you a pen no matter what. Arthur may
Ran
have
off
done.
someplace.
All aboard.
Such a shame.
Last call.
Oh, anyway, John, I better get on my train. It's really lovely seeing you.
It's great to have an excuse to break it off suddenly.
Thank you. Take
Pleased to
care
meet
now.
you. Thank you. Oh, Abigail might enjoy this. But yeah, there's various little scenes like this with where you can interact with. Oh, we can look at the bank debt. $13.91. John, protect Abigail and Jack. Rains fall. Save your son as you could not save your people. Dutch, start listening to them as he really loved you. Aww. Anyway, what I wanted to look at was this book we just got, The Lady the Manor. A Twist of the Knife of Time. Susan Gray, The Lady of... Never know how to pronounce the British ones. Leicester. Stared at the highwayman, her bosom heaving, her heart pounding in her chest, her flint-lock dueling pistol ready to put a bullet clean between his eyes. David Vincent, the infamous Black Knight, the most wanted man in England and France, smiled. He was not nervous. He was never nervous when faced by beauty. The woman's anger and rage excited him. You can read more of that online if you would like. I'm sure you can Google that book and read the rest of it. That was enough for me. I'm kind of...
All right, girl.
Oh, who am I kidding? That was fun. Let's read some more of that. Oh, maybe I can't read it while I'm on the horse? Yeah, let's read some more of it. I'm sorry about your husband, my lady, he said mischievously, but it was a fair fight. A fair fight, she gasped. You shot him in the back. I never did, but we shall come to that later, he winked at her. She raged, yet even in her anger she felt something else swelling up inside her. A pain even worse than grief, a reality that has punished woman since the dawn of time. Love. Susan was in love with a murderer. Her husband, bad man that he was, lay not yet cold at her feet, and already she was in love with this black-hearted killer. The feelings were too much for her. She would never admit them to anyone. Vincent, with his infinite reserves of cunning, saw these truths written on her face instantly and knew everything entirely. He smiled. The smile angered her, and she decided at that moment that rather than give in to love, she would fight it. She would destroy David Vincent in order to stop loving him. She looked calmly at her gun. "I am afraid, Mr. Vincent, that I can forgive many things in a man, but shooting people in the back is not one of them," she said calmly. Yet just at that moment, the moment of truth, when a man and a woman stand before each other, there was a shout from outside. Both the widowed lady and the handsome highwayman looked at the door. "This is Her Majesty's police force," said the voice. It was, of course, Mr. Mellon, the dogged, soulless embodiment of all that would crush a person's spirit, the king's worst enforcer, the most hated and feared man in all England. "Mr. Vincent, if you do not come out from there, I shall kill you, and everyone you hold dear." The voice made them both shudder. They knew it to be true. Calmly, David Vincent proved, beyond all doubt, that whatever else he may be, he was no gentleman. "Take off your dress," he muttered. "Now," she gasped. "Why, my husband is not yet buried, and the law waits outside." "I will marry you and make a real woman of you yet," my lady winked the highwayman. "But right now, if we are to escape the gallows, I just need to borrow your dress. Do not worry, I will not look." Quickly, she slipped out of her elegant yellow silk gown, and was left humiliated in just her petticoats. The highwayman stole a glance at her beautiful figure, then grabbed the dress. "Madame, drape yourself in the cape while I demonstrate that it is not me that our dear friend Mr. Mellon wants to kill, but you." "Me?" she gasped. "You. With you and your husband dead at my hands, he can install himself as a lord of Leicester. Your beautiful niece shall become his wife." He spoke, and she saw that he spoke the truth, in the way that people who speak only truth know of truth. "But she hates him," she blustered, her pretty petticoats blowing slightly. "This is awesome. I love this. I'm going to start reading Time Store romance novels for real. I'm going to start buying books with Fabio on the cover. This is hilarious." "All the better. Now watch this," said the handsome highwayman knowingly. While the beautiful and imperious lady shivered in her petticoats, her hair disheveled, her bosom heaving, her spirit unbroken, the handsome highwayman took the dress and put it on a mop that was fortuitously lying nearby. He stuck the mop and dresses out the castle's window, so that in the darkening light the mop's hair resembled Susan's own beautiful head of lascivious curls. In the darkened light of the night, all that would be seen were the elegant folds of yellow silk from the beautiful gown, standing proud and erect, only not draped across the heaving bosom of Susan Grade, but attached to a mop. At once 5 shots rang out from the below, and the gown was reduced to rags. Vincent turned to our heroine. "Now will you trust me, madame? I am a thief, a murderer, a sinner, and your only hope of survival. Follow me." "I don't believe a word of it," the lady spluttered. But in her heart she knew it was true. England was in the grip of evil, and madness had got the people by the throat, and she, Susan Grade, born a peasant and risen up to a Lady the Manor, she whose heart was that of a proud woman who bowed to no man, she must save the nation. To do so, her only hope was to trust this man, whom she hated almost as much as she loved. There was no choice. It was that or have her head cut off and give up her family in the manor house. Yet still part of her wavered. Then a voice from below made up her mind for her. "Is she dead, Vincent?" called out the treacherous police inspector. "I know you're up there. Come out calmly, and we can avoid too much further nonsense." "I will spare you if you come out forthwith. The king has said that I may pardon you if I so choose. Soon this whole castle will be mine." David Vincent smiled and led the lady across the rooftop of the castle to safety in the islands. Chapter 6, A Twist of the Knife of Time. Okay, never mind. I thought for a minute it was a new chapter. Like, I really did oh, there's more. Okay, maybe that's a bit too much now. All right, well, okay, so there's not that many old gang members we can meet, and they barely qualify as the gang members. It's not like you're not going to go out and meet the people who were the gunners. So I guess it's a spoiler, but if you're really, really wanting to see a scene where John Marston meets Bill Williamson or Javier Escuela, that is the plot of Red Dead Redemption. You are not going to see that as like a postscript part of Red Dead Redemption 2. But, that being said, we do get to meet some of the folks who were not like, the violent murderers of the gang, but were just kind of like satellite members of sort of, kind of. And some of them we don't get to meet. We never meet Susan. I'm just telling you that now. We don't meet Susan. And she's one of the folks who... I think it's like, people see it as kind of an oversight. I don't remember a scene where she dies, but she's like... She's drinking more and more as in her last few appearances. And she really gets screwed up when Sean the Irish Bastard dies. So I kind of feel like I've read online where people say, oh, it's pretty much accepted that she just dies at some point, but that it's not really shown in the story. And it might be something where if you read all the newspapers, one of them reports on the death of somebody and describes somebody, and if you're really paying attention and thinking about it, it sounds like a description of Susan. Although, am I getting the name? It's Karen. Karen and Susan, I keep getting them confused. One of them was the blonde lady who helped out with that bank robbery, and she actually seemed like a pretty fun character, like playing parts and distracting people and being part of the robberies. And then the other one was Miss Grimshaw. I can never remember which one was Susan and which one was Karen. Miss Grimshaw's death we did see because Micah shot her in the fucking gut. Micah, not a nice guy. I feel like I've rescued her before.
This isn't right. Let me out of here. It weren't my fault.
I'm pretty sure I've killed her before, or rescued her before off screen, and it just...
Come on, please.
And it just ended with me accidentally,
Out of here.
Okay.
Please don't leave me in here.
So I want to get rid of the gun, because what keeps happening off screen is... Oh no, it's going to make me shoot the lock.
Let me out of here.
Then when I try to talk to them, I end up shooting them instead. So I need to unequip my gun.
Whew, thank God for that. I have no money to repay you, but I do have some information that might suit your skill set. The Valentine doctor is cozy with the O'Driscoll boys. I've seen them come in and out. Heard they use it as a place to count their money.
Aren't the O'Driscolls dead?
Maybe you can show those bastards they don't own this land.
Okay.
Thank you, really. I'll be on my way.
Sure, but you got a hot tail. Trust me. Okay.
I gotta get out of here too, because somebody's gonna investigate this, and I'll get a wanted level, and that's just a real pain in the butt. And I forgot to pay off the bounty. So when we come back next time, I gotta pay off the bounty from the last time I rescued somebody. I'm already wanted in Lemoyne for something different, so this is getting more and more expensive. So she was saying I could rob the shop in Valentine, right? Here we go, let's see. Shop robbery, Valentine, doctor's office, home robbery, Aberdeen pig farm, home robbery, shop robbery. Maybe I should do a few of these. Visit Marko Dragic. Joe Exotic. Yeah. I have no pending invites. And it's pretty much time to call it a video. When we come back next time, folks, we will be continuing to visit old gang members, as I just try to do a few things that might be fun to do before we wrap up the story, because I don't particularly feel the need to do a lot of free roam after the story's over. So let's see if we can do a few fun things before following up on what really feels like it has to be the end game, which is now they're dropping hints that maybe Micah is still around and we know where to find him. I'm thinking we got to go kill Micah. We'll see. Perhaps next time. Bye-bye.